Hello, my name is Joshua Mugabi. I welcome you to Skeleton and Muscles. Bingo! Without wasting any of our time, let's go directly to our quiz. The outer layer of the shaft of the long bones. It's made up of mineral deposits surrounding a central opening. It gives strength and rigidity. It is made of living cells and is supplied by blood vessels and neurons. A. Immovable joint. B. Compact bone. C. Humerus. D. Antagonistic muscle pairs. And the answer is B. Compact bone. These are muscles working in pairs in opposite directions, controlling the movement of a joint. For example, movement about the elbow controlled by the biceps, which we call the flexor muscles, bring up bone, and the triceps, which we call extensor muscles, bring back bone. A. Immovable joints. B. Compact bone. C. Humerus. D. Antagonistic muscles. And the answer is D. Antagonistic muscle pairs. Bone between the shoulder and the elbow in humans. A. Immovable joint. B. Compact bone. C. Humerus. D. Antagonistic muscle pairs. And the answer is C. Humerus. Joint whose bones interlock and prevent it from moving. For example, bones of the cranium. A. Immovable joint. B. Compact bone. C. Humerus. D. Antagonistic muscle pairs. And the answer is A. Immovable joint. Pertaining or relating to or resembling a tail. Posterior region of body. A. Bone. B. Fused joint. C. Femur. D. Caudal. And the answer is D. Caudal. Bones of joint fused together. For example, sutures of skull, coccyx, allows no movement. A. Bone. B. Fused joint. C. Femur. D. Caudal. And the answer is B. Fused joint. The thigh bone invertebrate. A. Bone. B. Fused joint. C. Femur. D. Caudal. And the answer is C. Femur. A hard rigid connective tissue made from bone cells, osteocytes, embedded in a matrix of organic and mineral matter, calcium and phosphorus, making up the skeleton. A. Bone. B. Fused joint. C. Femur. D. Caudal. And the answer is A. Bone. A posterior limb, leg of an animal, tetrapod. A. Carpo. B. Extensor. C. Articular cartilage. D. Hind limb. And the answer is D. Hind limb. A muscle that straightens a joint. A. Carpo. B. Extensor. C. Articular cartilage. D. Hind limb. And the answer is B. Extensor. A thin layer of cartilage found at the end of the bone in a joint. A. Carpo. B. Extensor. C. Articular cartilage. D. Hind limb. And the answer is C. Articular cartilage. One of the 8 bones in the wrist. A. Carpo. B. Extensor. C. Articular cartilage. D. Hind limb. And the answer is A. Carpo. Type of synovial joint with a rounded end on a concave cap, providing great freedom of movement. For example, shoulder and hip joints. A. Ball and socket joint. B. Endoskeleton. C. Clavicle. D. Floating ribs. And the answer is A. Ball and socket joint. The collarbone from front of neck to shoulder. A. Ball and socket joint. B. Endoskeleton. C. Clavicle. D. Floating ribs. And the answer is C. Clavicle. Found inside the body, made of bones, for example, fox, Human. A. Ball and socket joint. B. Endoskeleton. C. Clavicle. D. Floating ribs. And the answer is B. Endoskeleton. Ribs 11 and 12, shorter than the other ribs with no attachment to the sternum or other ribs. A. Ball and socket joint. B. Endoskeleton. C. Clavicle. D. Floating ribs. And the answer is D. Floating ribs. Hello friends, thank you very much for participating in skeleton and muscles. Please do like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. I'm Joshua Mugabi. Bye bye for now.